Hey friend, great to see you. So super short on time and want to feel better. So here we go. 5 moves, about 5 minutes. Let's go. I'm going to start on hands and knees and we're just going to go for a cat-cow. I'm going to round the spine, pushing the mat forward with the hands, and then pull the hands towards you as you lift the chest and lift your tail. Let's do that 3 more times. Rounding and arching. So no particular focus today except to just kind of move the spine in all directions and just see if we can get some general mobility through the body really quickly. And these are movements that I pretty much do every day and especially spend a little more time on if I'm just kind of feeling ick. So a nice little series if you just need a little movement pick me up. And 1 more rounding. And then coming to a nice flat back, I'm going to take 1 leg straight out to the side of the room and just rock my hips back for 3. Getting a little inner thigh stretch, and 2, and 1. And then I'm going to take my same arm out to the side of the room, lift it up, and then come down, thread the needle the other direction for 3. Lifting up, just flowing through the movement, less concerned with right and wrong, and just enjoying moving our bodies right now. And then coming back, let's switch over to the other side, sending the opposite leg out, back and forth, keeping the tailbone lifted best you can, nice flat back. And in, and then taking the same arm, lift it up, and then thread down. If you can imagine, there's like a nice long line from your head to your tail, and you're trying to make it even a little bit longer. Let's do 1 more. And back down. And then coming back onto all 4s. And then we're just going to turn to face you and we're going to come into a Z-sit position. I'm going to take my hand right onto my hip, right where my thigh bone meets the pelvis, and rolling forward and back for 3. Just getting a little bit of mobility through that hip joint, little rotation through the pelvis and spine. And then 3 times just waving in the breeze. Taking a really easy, really flowy side bend Pilates mermaid variation. Up and over. Making the choice to do what feels good rather than what I think is right. I'll encourage you to do the same. And then switching over to the other side. I'm going to take my hand right into my hip crease, roll the pelvis forward and back. I'm kind of thinking about flipping my thigh bone inside of the hip joint, getting that mobility. This side on me always needs 1 extra, so I'm going to give it that. And then I'm just going to go big here. So I'm not going to say sloppy, I'm going to say free. How about that? Moving free. Not a lot of rules. Good. All right, 4th movement, here we go. Sending the legs out into kind of a moderate straddle position. I'm gonna bring my fingertips on the floor and just think about stretching my fingers long out in front of me. Nice little spine stretch, and then stacking up. And then I'm gonna put my hands on my legs and just kind of push down on them to lift my chest. And then going forward. It's kind of like a variation of a cat-cow, but in this nice wide position, getting a little inner thigh stretch. And continuing with that theme of mobilizing the spine and getting into the hip joints a little bit. And up. And let's do 1 more. And coming up. Transition that works for me is just to crisscross my legs, and then I'm going to come onto my stomach, but if that doesn't work for you, just make your way onto your tummy. I'm going to separate my legs pretty wide, even a little wider than my mat, taking my hands a little bit underneath my shoulders, and then using the strength of my arms just to push up into a nice kind of passive swan. I'm going to try to relax my tush, I'm going to try to relax my legs. And this feels really good to me, but this may be a more appropriate range or even here. It doesn't really matter how high you come up. The idea is that we're trying to get a stretch through the abdominals, maybe even into the hip flexors and the neck, or the front of the throat, lifting up. And again, just thinking freedom of movement here. So it's kind of turning into a wave-like action for me. That feels good, so that could be a nice choice. Or you could think about leading with your eyes, looking up. It's also interesting. And down. And one more. And then bringing big toes together, knees apart, and just pushing back into a nice long, wide-kneed child's pose. Didn't tell you you're getting a bonus movement. We'll call this a pose. So, I said 5, feel better in 5. It's really feel better in 6. Just take a moment there. Think about crawling your fingertips nice and long out in front of you. Let the shoulders come up to the ears. Feel that lovely stretch in 2 directions. Maybe mash your forehead a little bit onto the mat, just so that you can sense where you are in space. Getting a little head massage there. And then hands underneath your shoulders. Whew. Better than a cup of coffee. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.